Hey, kids, we're a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast. That's right, we're the podcast that explores the American animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest ones available. And this summer, we're exploring the love life of a certain 10-year-old named Bart Simpson. Why do we do it like this? There are plenty of other podcasts that explore the quote-unquote golden age of The Simpsons, that being seasons 1 through 10. I say we because I'm one annoyed grunt boy named Steve, and with me, as always, is the other annoyed grunt boy.
The Dingle-Danger himself, Craig.
Hey, Dingle-Danger, how are we doing this week?
We're doing fantastic. How about you?
Doing great. You know, as I do every day, I look up the latest in Simpsons information, and on this very day, I saw that Alice Cooper absolutely wants to voice a character on The Simpsons. I don't know if The Simpsons have reached out to him. I'm going to guess not. But he has appeared on other shows, such as The Muppet Show. He's appeared on the Grammys, of course. He's been on The Family Guy. And he's even been on Amy Poehler's series Duncanville, which I've never seen. First of all, I want to tell a quick thing that I met Alice Cooper once. Many years ago, I worked at a hotel. I was mostly behind the scenes doing office work in the restaurant department, but sometimes I'd have to play like server or host, and Alice Cooper was staying at our hotel. And there was one server she was a woman in her, well, let's say 60s. And I've never seen somebody so excited to see another person, especially like a grown woman, was so excited to see Alice Cooper that she was like red in the face. And he was just in town to go golfing. And so he came down for our buffet breakfast wearing golf gear, but had the blackest, crunchiest hair you've ever seen. Like you could see how dry it was from like a mile away. And he was perfectly nice, like not like overly nice, but just nice enough. And he like talked to the woman and she was very happy, and much cooler than another musician who came to my hotel, Mike Love, who was a complete dick. But yeah, so Alice Cooper wants to be on The Simpsons, and maybe we'll see him in the next few seasons. But it got me to thinking, what musicians would you like to see on the show? I mean, we've had so many already. We've had Sting, we've had the Ramones, we've had the Rolling Stones, we've had U2. Maybe a certain king of pop, but I don't know. So, Craig, what do you think?
Well, before I continue, I need to go back and interject some things I wanted to ask before.
Absolutely, sorry.
It's about Alice Cooper. When he was going to the golf course, and the golf course that he was going to, did you show him a map and point to the town? Because, you know, we have like the suburbs. You know, there's places like Gresham or Beaverton, these like little towns, or like suburbs like Selwood. But his was like by Selwood. Did you point to him that started with an M and tell him to pronounce that area? You know, it's that city in Wisconsin. The Brewers for baseball, they play in that city.
Oh, yes. Milwaukee.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
Milwaukee, yes, of course.
Come on, this is best, my favorite cameo in Wayne's World.
Of course, yes.
Did you also say to him, like, you know, this is October. School's not out yet, man.
I did say that, but he's like, you know, maybe before school is out, you can look at the love life of a young boy. And I said, how about Bart Simpson? And he's like, yeah, I guess so.
Hey, how come he wasn't in the new Happy Gilmore movie?
Oh, yeah, he should have been.
Like, that should have been the fight. You know, Happy should have had a fist fight with Alice Cooper because Bob Barker's dead.
That's right.
That's all your fault.
I'm sorry.
Do you think Bob Barker has been spayed or neutered in heaven?
Yes, I'm sure both have happened multiple times.
Okay. All right. So your original question. Look, I think it's obvious, and a lot of people would agree with my selection, and I'm sure it hopefully will happen soon. But as a Swiftie, come on, we got to get Taylor Swift in. Hopefully it's not going to be as bad as apparently Lady Gaga, because she was on The Simpsons.
Right. Well, we'll never know until we do, but...
Yeah. You know what? I want Lady Gaga back on The Simpsons.
Ooh, redemption.
Yeah.
It's so hard because when I think of some that would be great, they've already been on, like, I think about, like, Johnny Cash and, you know, my favorite, the Ramones, but for all you classic punk heads, I think Ian MacKaye would be interesting, of Fugazi and of Minor Threat, just because he's so anti-corporate. So to appear on a large Fox show would be very hilarious. But also, Dolly Parton seems like a natural fit, and I'm surprised that she hasn't been on yet.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Why hasn't that been a thing? I feel like there's probably like one little thing that the Simpsons do that she's like, I'm not into that.
Yeah. And she's probably right, because, Dolly Parton's pretty right about most things.
It's probably like, I don't like how they portrayed Indian Americas with that Apu character, so. Let's see here. Now, I don't think he's been on it, but he was on Futurama. We have Beck. I think he hasn't done Simpsons. It's actually a really good episode of Futurama. How about Lauryn Hill?
Ooh, I like it.
That would also be kind of interesting if she did. She's, very much recluse in that manner.
Here's how you sell it. You get the rest of the Fugees, and you have a reunion. So you get Praz, and you get Wyclef Jean, and they all do an episode. I think that's how you do it. One time.
So trick her, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Also tell her that the appointment is like 2 hours before it actually is, and then she'll show up on time.
Right.
I think that a famous musician with the last name of Clinton, and Lisa thinks that it's Bill, because they've already met her, but it's actually George Clinton, and we get George Clinton. That'd be great. And I would like to see Spinal Tap make a return.
What about Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh, yes. She could work at an espresso bar. I see her as a love interest for Mo because he likes short women. And he briefly had an espresso bar, too, when Barney went sober.
She should actually be a love interest for Bart because that would be creepy. Because Nancy Cartwright is like Sabrina Carpenter's aunt.
Ooh. That would be very weird, aside from the fact that she's an adult woman and Bart is a boy. But I guess she could play a character. So yeah, that would be weird. That whole dynamic would be very confusing because, yes, it's true in real life. But speaking of Bart's love life, that brings us to today's episode. And I like to bring us to the time when that episode aired. So let's go back, all the way back, to May 14th, 2006. Craig, what was the #1 movie in the box office?
Well, it had been a number of years since the sequel disappointed everyone. But this one brought the franchise back, thanks to J.J. Abrams. That's Mission Impossible 3.
Ooh.
I did a Mission Impossible film rewatch during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen the newest one, Dead Reckoning. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There was one that was like Dead Reckoning Part 1 and then...
Deadest Reckoning.
Yeah, so I haven't seen those two. So I kind of ended with the most recent one during the pandemic. But I guess we should stop talking about Mission Impossible because we'll be talking about it later this week in our Patreon exclusive episode, Mission Impossible 3.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for y'all to hear it. Sign up now. Now, Craig, you were mentioning about how people were disappointed at the second Mission Impossible. So do you think the studios were trying to call out a warning sign to the rest of the staff to be like, hey, help us. We need a better film. This is a real 9-on-1 situation.
Well, my friend Ella, who has an umbrella, said...
When she's not playing Battleship.
Right. Or singing a song in a J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Speaking of Mission Impossible 3, this is SOS by Rihanna. It's #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100. Is that what you're trying to get to? That's
exactly what I was trying to ask. Rihanna's great, but, I prefer my Americans American from one of the great states. About the West Coast. Now, of course, you're in Washington and I'm in Oregon. But there's one more that's, I think my friend Daniel was from. Oh,
are you talking about he was the host of Wake Up San Francisco, Danny?
Yeah, but he had a real bad temper. He got red hot. And then...
Because Joey kept telling him to cut it out.
Yeah. And also he he was making a stew with beef and beans. And he put too many peppers in there. He put too many chili peppers in there.
And Stephanie was like, how rude. And Michelle was like, you got it, dude.
Exactly. Which brings us to the #1 hot rock and alternative song for the week, Danny California by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
But Steve, I need you to stay in our studio for the rest of the day, even though when we're done recording.
Who told you that? Who told you that I could not go home again? It's my life. I can do what I want. Was it... Was it 007 himself? Bond? James Bond?
I think it was Bobby Brown. No, Millie Bobby Brown's father-in-law. But do you not know? Okay. Steve is like shocked. Like, what am I talking about?
Yeah, which brings us to our country song, Who Says You Can't Go Home by Bon Jovi.
Isn't Millie Bobby Brown the actress? Like, she's married to Bon Jovi's son, right?
Oh, I did not know that. I think you're right, though.
Isn't it? Or, I don't, like, it's someone's kid.
Man, that last bit, we really needed some help.
Hold on. Yeah, we do. Yeah, Jake Bon Jovi.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. Can we rewind it and let's just go back to the number one hot Billboard song and start this all over again?
Oh, right.
Okay.
Hey, let's just make that all the one, because that is also the number one electric song, SOS by Rihanna. Whew.
All right.
Alrighty. On this week's episode, The Monkey Suit, Flanders pushes Mayor Quimby to appoint the Reverend Lovejoy as morality czar in charge of spreading the theory of creationism. Lisa's arrested, and Bart falls in love in there somewhere too. All right, let's check that out, and we'll be right back.
Ah, yes. Please have a seat.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for getting me in there. My brain has been I've been under a lot lately.
Yeah, I just want to start off this session saying that last week I apologize. I did not know that you are the famous clown Pagolachi.
Yeah.
I understand last week you said, you were feeling life seems harsh and cruel and you felt all alone in a threatening world. And I told you to go see a clown. That's you. And you burst into tears. And I apologize. Yeah. And I just realized something. I said to go see a clown. And no offense to your profession.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's got its ups and downs. But yeah.
But a clown is not funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. You know what is funny? Two clowns. In fact, I think these clowns that have a Patreon podcast called The Annoyed Grunt Boys. That's right, patreon.com/Annoyed Grunt Boys. Well, I find them to be hilarious. In fact, this last week they reviewed the hilarious Shane Black movie Iron Man 3, starring Adam Pally, Jenna Ortega, Dale Dickey, and Death himself from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, William Sadler.
Wow.
Do you want to know how funny they are? Just listen to some of these jokes and let me know what you think.
Okay. And evidently in the Avengers, there was like a big traumatic event that gave him PTSD.
Yeah, Joss Whedon was the director and writer. Okay, you're laughing a little bit. I'm going to keep going here. Listen to this one.
When Superman moved into the neighborhood and Batman was like, what the hell?
Yeah, Superman moved into my predominantly Hispanic neighborhood recently, and now he's working for ICE.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
She's poo-pooing his PTSD. What do you think?
You see Pepper Potts is poo-pooing his PTSD?
Shower sex. Oh, yeah. Shower sex is difficult. Wet sex isn't good.
Those are two very different statements, but shower sex is difficult, yes.
You're almost there. You're almost there. One more joke.
Jarvis, and he has Pepper, and he has Happy. But he doesn't have any people with normal names.
No. Would you pay $5 a month for that kind of banter?
Absolutely.
So you're cured. I did it. I'm the greatest psychologist of all time. Psychiatrist, whatever I am.
Yeah, now I don't need to pay you any money.
Yeah, it's real cheaper to get this podcast rather than seeking professional help.
It's the cure for what ails you.
All right, so go to patreon.com/Annoyed Grunt Boys and sign up today.
It'll make you laugh.
All right, and I'll get out of here.
And we're back. Today we're talking about The Monkey Suit, the 21st episode of the 17th season. It is episode 529 in the show's run. It originally aired on May 14th, 2006. Your nerd code is HABF14. It was written by J. Stewart Burns, directed by Raymond Persi, and your showrunner is Al Jean.
All right, J. Stewart Burns. He's credited with writing 28 episodes of The Simpsons, and this is the 11th we've reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
We recently just talked about this fella, didn't we?
Yep. What can we say? Beavis and Butthead, Spyro, Unhappily Ever After, and of course, Tapped Out.
I like how you go Beavis and Butthead and Spyro. Of course, everyone's favorite video game from the 90s, Spyro.
Look, my wife plays 2 video games and 2 video games only, and one of them is Spyro and the other one is Skyrim, so...
Wait, Spyro is still a game?
No, she plays on the PS5, the PS4 version of the trilogy, the Frightened trilogy of Spyro.
How's your wife enjoying that new Jason Momoa Hawaiian TV show on Apple Plus?
We have been watching it, and it is very good.
I hear it's very accurate to Hawaiian. I mean, that's what Jason Momoa's want to making sure that it's very accurate to their history.
I think the timelines might be a little bit different, but yeah, it seems to be fairly earnest to the story, and it's I find it entertaining, and she does too. So yeah, I think it's good.
Would the equivalent of you watching your people be the actor Cole Meady eating a potato?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
The most interesting thing about you is potatoes.
I mean, I do like potatoes a lot.
But you know who probably also likes potatoes is J. Stewart Burns. I hope he does. I mean, unless he's like on keto, then he can't have potatoes.
That'd be really sad.
Yeah, did the Holidays of Future Past and Days of Future Future. So very much recently talked about good old Stewart Burns. And I think we'll probably talk about him more in the coming weeks.
I think you might be right. Well, Craig, we start off, because this is an older episode, with a billboard gag, which reads, Je ne parle pas François, which is French for I don't speak French.
I also don't speak French, and so I assume this was tribute to the writers for that magazine that were killed a few years ago.
Oh yeah, Charlie Hebdo and the like.
This didn't happen in 2004. Which I think they did. They did a little tribute chalkboard gag for the writers that were killed.
They did, and I think this is probably a blowback to maybe even like Gulf War II, 9/11 Part 1.
You're right. We're in the Bush years.
Exactly, and we didn't like France because they were sensible. So we changed the name of French fries, speaking of potatoes, to Freedom Fries, because that's not dumb.
Yeah, remember when that happened, and we thought that was going to be like the dumbest thing that ever happened to like our political, like in the White House. Like George W. Bush changing the name of French fries to Freedom Fries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that old monkey of a president.
The simpler times. Hey, monkeys, that's relevant.
Are you asking me if there's a couch gag?
Yes, I am.
All right. The family sits on the couch, as usual. A photographer comes in and takes the picture of them, which starts a montage of what the family will be like in 2006 to 2013. In the 2006 and 7 portraits, they all look the same, with the exception of different arm positions, and the family looking a little wary in 2007. And in 2008, Homer died, and Marge is wearing her black funeral clothes, and the kids are wearing their Sunday clothes. And in 2009, Lenny took Homer's place, and Bart and Lisa both began puberty. It's 2010 now, and Carl has taken Marge's place. Lenny's still there. Bart and Lisa are still grown up, and Maggie is in different clothes and has given up her pacifier. It's 2011 now, and Marge is back, but is older, and the kids are teenaged, and Lenny is gone and replaced by Jimbo Jones. It's 2012, and Homer's back, but now a robot. And finally, in 2013, every member of the Simpsons family is a robot. This is a nice showing of the evolution of the Simpsons.
And it's also funny because, you know, we're going from 2006 to 2013, and we recently talked about future drama, which is another one of Bart's love stories with Zhenya, and that takes place in 2006 and looks into the future to 2013.
Yeah.
It's funny how we're going back and forth to those weird specific years.
But we've seen this couch gag before, right?
It's true. We did see it in season 17, episode 10, so 11 episodes before this one, Homer's paternity coot, which we talked about in our 116th episode way back in April of 2021.
All right. Well, Steve, our episode begins, as it always does, with Bart sitting on the couch, barefoot, watching the television. So this time he's watching a matinee of blood and commercials, hosted by Boobarella. After introducing the Labor Day Marathon of Murder, the spooky and well-endowed host reminds Bart that he'll soon have to return to school. Remember when kids got to return to school after Labor Day and not the 1st of August?
Yeah. It's a dreaded Tuesday.
Yeah. That first week back of school was always great because it was just, all right, first day, let's get to know each other.
Let's make name tags out of pieces of paper.
And by the way, we're talking about like when we were seniors in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it wasn't really till the following week when you actually, started doing schoolwork.
Mm-hmm. And then it was like, ugh. I had to learn. Stupid.
Yeah. I wish I was at home watching marathons of well-endowed vampire lady hosts. So, she's in her, vampire voice going, school. And so realizing that his break is coming to an end, and that he's wasted his entire summer. Bart looks at the checklist he made of things he wanted to do.
And so Bart completing his list and Booberella saying that summer's about over was originally written and animated for season 14 in the episode I'm Spelling as Fast as I Can, which we reviewed in our 158th episode, but it was cut and held back for a whole 3 seasons.
Wow, so we're seeing old stuff, huh?
Yeah, this episode is kind of a weird piecemeal episode. There's a couple of things that were borrowed. We'll get to it later. But Grandpa pops his head to say that he's way more behind on his own list than Bart is, because he has things that he wants to accomplish, such as sleep with Esther Williams, which at the time he could have done because she died in 2013.
Just like Homer.
Exactly. And become the first white man in the Negro League. And Abe says that if it weren't for his trick knee, he would have done both of them right then.
So this same list would appear in the season 20 In the Name of the Grandfather. Just letting you know.
Oh, wow.
I like the idea of Abe trying to be the only white man in the Negro League, because this sounds like a plot to an early 2000s movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like starring, I don't know, Jamie Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. With weird cameos from current baseball players.
Yeah. Dressed as old-timey. Or this could be a Key and Peele sketch.
I could see that, or Dave Chappelle maybe.
All right, Hollywood. Greenlight this movie. Who would you cast now? Liam Neeson. He likes to say disparaging remarks about black men.
And he's America's comedian now.
So looking to squeeze in a whole summer of fun in a single day, Bart takes action. First on the list is win a baseball game, speaking of baseball. And Bart heads to the dugout where the Walter Matthau-like coach gives Bart a batting helmet and a warning that the kid on the pitcher's mound may actually be 22 years old.
I thought that a funny ad joke could be, and I don't know if it's too Family Guy-like, but when the Walter Matthau, Bad News Bears coach speaks, Bart could be like, "You sound just like my dad." Well, not now.
I think this is more Walter Matthau than Homer Walter Matthau, though.
That's true.
So your joke did not make me laugh. In fact, you're going to joke jail.
Oh, man. Not again.
So despite the age and skill of the pitcher, Bart knocks the ball out of the park, and he runs around the diamond. Triumphant music plays, and the bases explode with fireworks, much like the film The Natural. So the crowd goes wild, and with an elderly couple hugging, a Hasidic Jew, and a Muslim hug, and the cat allows a dog to hug it. So after landing on the home plate and winning the game, Bart is invited to the celebratory pizza party, and Bart accepts taking bites out of the crust only? What the fuck? As a kid, that's the worst part.
Not only that, but you're ruining the pizza for all the other players.
Yeah. Again, the music of The Natural's playing. I love this scene because he just runs up to the team. He's not in uniform. He's just wearing his Bart clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Is he even on the team? And if he is, why is he late to the game?
I don't think he is. I think he just showed up and they're like, okay, they got this 22-year-old pitcher, so we can get some boy.
Yeah.
I mean, the coach is a drunk. He doesn't know.
True. He was drunk in the film.
Next on the list is to appear in a summer stock play. He opts for Grease 2, the musical based on the sequel to the movie based on the musical. And inside of the Springfield Community Theater, the cast, dressed in their 1950s garb, dance and sing among hot rods, ending the show with the iconic line, "That's Grease." And Bart, with his sleeves rolled up and his hair slicked back, does a knee slide onto the center stage, where he says, "Sit on it, Springfield." And the audience goes wild, cheering and throwing roses on stage.
So Bart then heads to the Aztec Theater to check off the next item on his list, which is see a summer blockbuster. It's another entry in the Men in Black franchise. Men in Black 2 came out in 2002, and it wouldn't be until 2012 when we see Men in Black 3. So as Tommy Lee Jones and amazing rapper who likes beautiful girls, Will Smith, blasts aliens in the middle of the busy city, and Agent J says, "Get out of my face, you raggedy maggots, or else I'll slap you." Bart now understands everyone has been saying that catchphrase all summer.
So as Bart runs down the street, the trees behind him begin to change color. Really fun effect. And he tries to escape them, as he still has to have his summer romance, because this is, after all, the Bart summer. And so he enjoys the sunset with a girl on a park bench, saying he'll never forget her. And then they share a kiss, and Bart checks off have a summer romance off of his list. He runs off, and the girl, canonically known as Summer Romance Girl, checks off her own list, which has one entry, kiss 100 boys.
That was much like your diary in summer, right? When we went to school.
Only got to 69. but with a lot of boys.
Girls, Steve. Boys kiss girls.
Oh, that's right.
Did you ever have like a summer romance as a youth?
Not really. In, I think, the summer between 4th and 5th grade, I received a letter in the mail. It was from a secret admirer. And I think we exchanged letters a few times, but we never actually met. And I don't know who that was. But other than that, no. How about yourself?
Was it your mom? She was just
Probably.
trying to be nice to you.
It is funny how there was no stamp on it, and the home address was also my address.
Yeah, not like as a kid, but like it was, you saw it so much in like television. Like I always think of that Wonder Years episodes where Kevin's on summer break and they go like to the lake or whatever, and he meets the girl and they go to the drive-in. Like I never had that. I think we always talked about like we need a summer girlfriend, a summer fling, but we never did, because where do you meet girls when like the internet's very new?
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't meet people on the internet then, and then we're just too scared to like talk to girls in real life at that age.
Yeah. We couldn't do it during school time when people are forced to be next to us, so certainly couldn't do it in summertime. Loneliness.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But is this now the end of our summer of Bart? Like, I feel like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. I think we might have one more episode where there's some sort of Bart love.
I think so, and I think that's about it. But I think we did pretty good. We got like 4 or 5 episodes, and we've discovered all that we can about the love life of a 10-year-old boy.
Are we putting this girl that kisses 100 boys as part of like girlfriends that we like for Bart?
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
They both have their own like motives, and I think, they're on the same page, so it's equitable if nothing else.
All right, we'll put it on the list.
All right.
Bart heads home and shares his exploits with his family, and Homer pretends to be interested in saying that once Bart gets to third base, he'll buy him a beer. So Bart has to go up to Homer and say, "Hey, Dad, I went down on a girl."
Or he got blown.
Oh, God, do we have to do this again? First base is kissing, right?
Yeah.
Second base is
Touching
oral. Third base is anal, and home is vaginal.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
I always assumed that first base is kissing, second base is copping a feel and boobs, third base is mouth on genitals, fourth base is sex.
Oh, okay.
But, whatever works for your baseball game.
First base should be meeting the parents. Second base should be signing a prenup.
Mm-hmm.
Third base should be
sharing a meal together.
And then home is peeing and pooping on each other.
Exactly. The way God intended.
Anyway, so faking interest in Bart is the final item on Homer's own to-do list. Having already complimented, check out that news story and find and destroy Atlantis. It's Lisa's turn to decide what to do, and rather than go on to third base with Bart, she chooses to go to a museum, causing Bart and Homer to groan with disappointment.
Well, Lisa's happy that Marge chose the Museum of Natural History, and Marge is excited for an exhibit for the ladies. Looms, Labor, and Liberation, a history, or herstory, of women weaving. Seeing this, Bart appeals to Homer's good nature, saying that this is the exact sort of thing that a father is supposed to protect his son from. Homer offers Bart a drink from his special water bottle, a flask, but before Bart can get that taste of sweet, sweet alcohol, there's been a change in exhibits at the museum. The signs for women weaving are replaced with the history of weapons, sponsored by Kellogg's. And we see a word bubble from Tony the Tiger, who has a gun in the mouth, a stick of dynamite, and 2 swords and an axe stabbed into him, which goes to show that violence is great.
Lisa and Marge are shocked and disappointed, but museum employee Raphael does little to make them feel better. So as they line up, Homer uses his special skills to find a good spot.
What? Sorry, Loomwads. New exhibits in town.
Woohoo! Weapons! Bart, it's still history. Not if I spend the whole time running around like this. Die, weapons, die!
Don't start the exhibit without me! Oh, look at that line. Time to do what I do best. Ruin it for everybody. Hey, Flanders, thanks for saving our place.
But wait, hold the phone there, Homer.
Oh, dude, I was totally here. Are you calling me a liar? In front of my kids? 'Cause I take a bullet for you, man. Right in the mouth.
Oh, fine, take the cut.
Ned Flanders is doling out cuts. I, for one, wish to partake of said.
Hey, if Boner here is getting cuts, I want him to.
Cuts?
Disco Stew slides in front of you. Hey, that rhymes.
Kirk Cameron on the set of Growing Pains, actually at the craft service table with the sliced meat, said, if Boner gets a cut, I want one too.
Boner is Bible Man, right?
No, that's actually Scott Baio's friend in from Charles in Charge.
Right, Willie Ames. Willie Ames, his Boner.
Boner is sadly no longer with us.
We lost Boner, didn't he? It was during the Olympics in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, it's actually a really sad story.
Yeah, it was Walter Koenig, Chekhov from Star Trek's son.
Mm-hmm.
I won't make a joke, Steve. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We lost Boner when really we should have lost Kirk.
100%. I do like, and this is a weird transition, the image of Homer pointing the finger gun into his mouth.
It's just a funny thing that he tells Ned, like,
yeah,
I would take a bullet in the mouth for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Ned, Rod, and Todd end up going from the front of the line to the very back. But Ned, ever the optimist, tells the boys that if they turn around, it'll feel like they're in the front again. And Rod and Todd cheer, but Homer runs in front of them, or behind them technically, saying that he is everywhere.
Homer's just doing such a great job of being insufferable in this scene.
Yeah, he's such a great jerk-ass Homer in this.
Yes. So in the IMAX theater, which will soon be showing the documentary Up Your Nostril, the film Nunchucks, Cool But Useless, is shown in 3D. The narrator describes the invention of nunchucks dating back to a Chinese monk from thousands of years ago. And Avaz shows that the discovery of the weapon was quite humorous, displaying the monk wielding the nunchucks, then hitting himself in the head with the nunchucks, followed by another monk laughing at him. And so the vase turns to show that the first monk responded by hitting the second monk in the head with the nunchucks. And so Homer is impressed with the 3D effect, assuming that the bald man sitting in front of him is actually Avaz. I love this, just the nunchucks is a silly weapon. It kind of is. I mean, I don't want to insult a culture, but...
Yeah, I just remember, like, they really had a moment in the 80s, or at least that's when I became aware of them, but I felt like there were a lot of nunchucks in the 80s, and it would always be a badass person going from hand to hand with them, and then you're like, oh, that's so cool. But then when you think about, like, the actual viability of the weapon, pretty dumb.
Well, I mean, it was popularized by Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's true. He could handle them just fine.
And it's funny how, like, that weapon was given to him, because it's like, they're thinking, well, we'll give him the nunchucks, but he's got to have, like, a personality offset his lame weapon. So, like, that's why he was the party dude.
We may have talked about this before, but there's somebody online who's talked about, like, the weapons and their personalities regarding the turtles, about how, like, Donatello's a scientific wizard, but he has a stick, the most simple of weapons.
Yeah.
Raphael is angry and has, like, a lot of explosive anger, and yet his weapon requires you to be close to somebody, even though he shuts people out.
And he sighs a lot, Steve.
Oh, that's a very good point. Yes, he's very frustrated with society.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, of course, Leonardo has, like, the most violent of weapons, but he's, like, the restraint leader. So, yeah.
And then the nunchucks, they're the most complex, but
right.
Is that maybe what it is? Like, they take the most...
Take the most skill.
Yeah. Wasn't there a scene in, like, the first Batman movie where there was a guy with nunchucks and doing a bunch of, like, cool nunchuck moves, and then Michael Keaton Batman, just, like, kicks him in the chest and he's down?
Yeah, it kind of felt like a real Indiana Jones moment there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Marge shows Maggie the children's touch wall, not to be confused with the touch children wall, which shows all kinds of weapons from axes to whips to chains to guns. Martin checks out how pointy one of the maces is, and a little girl tugs on the pin of a hand grenade.
Isn't the touch children wall a prominent feature on Epstein Island and now the current White House?
Exactly, yes, not a political podcast.
Release the Epstein files. Marge encourages Maggie to touch the deadly weapons, and she does, grabbing a switchblade off the wall and pointing it at her mother. So Marge plays along, pretending that Maggie is mugging her, and she offers all her hugs and kisses, but Maggie makes a stabbing motion at her, and Marge tells her youngest to be cool, adding that she has some candy in her purse. This scene is just 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It's like Maggie, first of all, this Marge playing along is very cute, but then the image of Maggie with the knife is very funny.
Well, I think this is like gonna be my daughter, because I'll watch a lot of violent things on TV and assume that she won't remember this.
Mm-hmm.
But she probably will.
Yeah, and then she'll try to hit you with a hammer.
Yeah, she will. Okay, can I tell you something? I think she is psycho. She's crazy.
Really?
Like, you know the sounds like when you take your nails and do it to a chalkboard?
Mm-hmm.
She was doing that to the aluminum siding on our house. And we were like, stop it. And she was just laughing and giggling and doing it, watching a reaction.
So she knew that she was causing you discomfort and that she reveled in it.
Uh-huh. She's crazy, I tell you.
I'm a fan. That's great. Well, Homer then checks out the effectiveness of body armor at the bulletproof display. He puts on one of the bulletproof vests and shoots himself repeatedly, giggling each time he does it. And though he may not have hurt himself, the camera zooms out to show that several glass cases have been destroyed, and people are horrified and ducking for cover.
Have you ever wanted to be shot by a bulletproof vest to see how it works?
No.
Okay, me either. You can still get your ribs broken and cracked, so yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
My brother-in-law is a cop, ACAB, but during police academy, or aside from great sound effect guys and Bobcat Goldthwait, you have to go through a series of tests where you are shown the effects of some of your materials. And I saw videotapes of him getting pepper sprayed and tased. And it looks horrible because you see all these cops get tased, which actually now sounds kind of cool. But it's horrifying to see these people get hurt like that. So I can only imagine if they're testing bulletproof vests, even with rubber bullets, it just seems like it'd be very painful.
The funny thing about that is they're supposed to be this is what you will do to a human. So have sympathy and make sure you are using this at that this is the last resort.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, a lot of cops are psychopaths, so
yeah,
I don't care. I mean, there's some good cops on both sides.
Okay, Marge.
TJ Hooker.
Oh yeah. Barney Miller
as Sheriff Andy Taylor.
The cast of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Police cop Homer Simpson.
Ah, yes. Max Power himself.
Yes. Anyways, Bart and Milhouse visit the torture devices, and Milhouse is stretched on the rack, and he begs Bart to stop, leading Bart to ask him if he wants to get into the NBA or not. And Milhouse cries that his arm is out of its thing, but Bart continues to turn the wheel, telling Milhouse that's how you know it is working. It's funny that Bart is trying to grow Milhouse. I swear there was an episode of South Park, Stan was getting height surgery because he wanted to play basketball and he was too short. And then also I think it was Kyle's dad was turning into a dolphin. It was a really creepy episode, if I remember.
That's really funny. I have never seen that one. But I was thinking about when they were trying out for Fall Out Boy and Bart was too short. And if he had the rack, maybe he would have been Fall Out Boy.
I know you're talking about the Radioactive Man Fall Out Boy, but I was thinking of the band.
Of course.
Why are you doing that? And then you said rack. I'm if Bart had big boobs.
If Bart had large breasts, he would be the lead singer of an emo band. That's all I was saying.
I got it now. Thank you.
Cool. So the family walk out of the museum along with Milhouse, who has those stretched out limbs, shouting his iconic catchphrase, "What's up?" And they run into Ned, who has been in line the entire time, but Homer offers him something for once he does finally get inside.
You're leaving already? We haven't even gotten in yet.
Sorry, Flanders, but when you get in, you can use my audio tour. It's narrated by Melanie Griffith.
This room's nice. Let's go into the next one. This room's nice, too.
Ugh.
This room's nice. This room's nice, too. This room's nice, too. This room's nice. This room's nice. This room's nice, too.
Sorry, folks. The weapons exhibit is now closed for the day.
Yay?
Sorry, no yay, but you can all feel free to enjoy the rest of the museum.
Evolution.
That was Melanie Griffith's voice. It's a fun little cameo. It's a very funny line read.
Where she recorded exactly 3 lines. I also really like Raphael in this episode. I know he has a very small part, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, Ned is starting to find a display of man's early ancestors using tools around the fire. He's even more stunned to see a display showing indisputable fossil records, and is horrified at the sight of the unisex bathroom. Ned asks Raphael how the museum could have an exhibit on the origin of man without a single reference to the Bible. The surly museum attendant points to the myth of creation, which shows a hand reaching from the clouds, creating a tree, a bunny, a lamb, Adam and Eve, as the Doobie Brothers' What a Fool Believes plays, and Ned is outraged, and soon we'll hear in this clip, Rod and Todd are confused.
My most cherished belief's a myth?
Daddy, was Mommy a monkey? I can't remember.
No one was ever a monkey. Everything is what it was and always will be. God put us here, and that's that.
But you said a stork brought me.
That was God disguised as a stork.
Who brings baby storks?
There's no such thing as storks. It's all God.
Please bless Daddy. And
Stop
Daddy.
praying to that stork.
Where do baby storks come from?
It's like the internet meme of, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? No one's ever seen a baby pigeon.
It's because birds aren't real, man.
Oh, right. They're created by the government, spy on us.
Exactly.
The Doobie Brothers playing the What a Fool Believes. Like, again, we're not a religious podcast, and we've kind of been on this podcast saying that we're not really God-fearing people.
Right.
And if you believe in stuff like that, that's fine, because, we don't know either, right?
Yeah, nobody knows.
But using that song, just like A+.
Oh, yeah, really funny. Good stuff. Over at the First Church of Springfield, a council meeting is underway. Today's topic, religion. Ned informs the Lovejoys and the rest of the council that the museum was stating that humans were descended from a pack of apes. Despite that not being mentioned in the Bible, Timothy tells Ned, take the good book with a grain of salt.
Helen sees this as an opportunity to put more meat in the seats. So Reverend Lovejoy considers the Episcopalians next door with their new vibrating pews, along with his own church's dwindling attendance. So the Episcopalians are just getting everyone off.
I think so. And you notice like Lenny and Carl are in there. And they're normally at the First Church of Springfield, so they like the vibe.
Yeah, so he who comes at church is sitting in a vibrating pew.
Yeah, their own pew goo.
Pew goo. Helen sees evolution as the hot button issue that needs to be mobilized to their flock. So this excites Timothy, giving him a chance to be the white Al Sharpton. So then the couple kiss passionately, leading Sideshow Mel to wonder why every church meeting ends in such a manner. So is this like what gives Helen off?
Mm-hmm.
Is thinking Timothy in blackface?
And also Sideshow Mel watching as they make out.
Well, we learned, isn't Sideshow Mel, like, he's a swinger?
He is, yeah. Despite his religious beliefs.
Right. So Ned and Reverend Lovejoy head to Springfield Elementary to put a plan to action.
We want you to teach alternative theories to Darwinian evolution.
You mean Lamarckian evolution? No, the Adam and Eve one. And what if I say no? I believe you leased your Camry from Christian Brothers Auto.
No, that was a once-in-a-lifetime APR. Class, starting today, we will be presenting an alternative theory on the origin of man.
Creationism? But that's not science.
It is now.
Are oceans God's tears?
They sure are. A+.
Ugh. Now Lisa's the Ralph.
It's really funny, Ralph calling Lisa the Ralph. It's also funny because this could never happen in modern day.
No, definitely not. I imagine watching this at the time in 2004 or 5, or what year was this?
2006.
6. It was close enough. That, like, this is dated. They're not going to, like, talk about religion in schools. Like, that's never going to happen. Like, that was the whole Scoops Monkey trial in 1925.
Right.
Where in the 21st century, we're not going to have to deal with religion in public schools. Steve, why are you handing me a newspaper from Oklahoma? Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind. Here we are.
Yeah. Originally, evolution was teaching creationism in school, in a public school, was declared a federal crime in 1987 because it denied the separation of church and state. But somehow, that's not the case anymore. And some schools are opting to teach things from Prager University. And if you're not familiar with Dennis Prager, you're a lucky person. This is a real piece of shit, not a piece of shit podcast.
Did Prager ever get anyone pregnant?
I'm sure he did, and I'm sure he fixed it in a less than Christian way, we'll say. But all of this talk of creationism was so controversial that from 2008 2011, this episode was banned in New Zealand because it mocked Christianity. But evidently the Kiwis came to their senses after 2011, so good day, mate.
Yeah, they also believe in hobbits and shit down there, so... When Ralph says now Lisa's the Ralph, is that a title of a Simpsons episode, Lisa the Ralph?
If not, it definitely should be.
I know, it sounds like it should be. Yeah. All right, well, Lisa asks how the book of Genesis could be taught as scientific theory, causing Seymour to tell the kids to put their eyes screenward to see a hopeful video entitled So You're Calling God a Liar, an unbiased comparison of evolution and creationism. Also, do you think the band Genesis should, like, their best of album should be called The Book of Genesis?
I think so, yeah.
The video introduces 2 books. The first, the Bible, written by our Lord. And the Bible is shown with a halo above it and a heavenly glow encompassing it. The second book appears in a circle of flames, the dripping red blood text showing the title, The Origin of Species. And the narrator states that the book was written by a cowardly drunk in the name of Charles Darwin.
I mean, that book looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's selling me for, I want that book.
Mm-hmm. So Lisa calls the video slander, but because it's not text, it'd actually be libel, Lisa, adding that Darwin was one of the greatest thinkers of all time. And Janie asked why the great mind is making out with Satan, as shown on the video. Again, that's a good sell. Well, I mean, yeah. Lisa then tries to offer reason to her classmates, and later, in this clip, her mother.
Evolution is widely acknowledged as scientific fact. It's even accepted by prominent conservatives like George Will and the late Pope John Paul. That's something to think about. The George Will?
Lisa, you've said quite enough. Children, drown her out with whistling and arm flatulence.
All I'm saying
Oh, what's wrong, sweetie?
They're making us learn creation theory in school. Today, we had a test, and every answer was God did it.
Well, I think it's good to give both ideas a fair hearing. Maybe they could learn from each other.
But they're incompatible!
Lisa, lots of times 2 incompatible things can both be true. My son's a brat, but he's a special little guy. Your father says he's at work, but there he is, jumping on a trampoline.
All right, so this episode takes place during the timeline when the Simpsons got a trampoline, right?
Right.
Okay. I love how Ralph knows who George Will is.
Yeah, conservative columnist. And I think we talked about it last week, but the whole crowd muttering things like, oh, yeah, he's right. Good point. Yeah, yeah. Always so funny.
And again, not a political podcast, but we talk about, like, is there good Republicans? And, like, George Will is, like, kind of like, he's still alive. And he's, like, let me check, 84. But he's still, like, one of the good Republicans. Because he's, like, criticizes the Republican. Yeah, he's officially said that, like, you know, the Republican Party's a cult. You know, yeah. He supported Biden and Harris. He was also against Sarah Palin and John McCain in 2008. He also, like, hates Newt Gingrich. So, I mean...
Yeah, he was from a time when, like, political debate was an actual, like, not an arguing match, or just, like, it was a real exchange of ideas, and, like, one could read George Will and, like, maybe not agree with him, but have, like, thoughts about what he wrote in a positive manner. And so, yeah, the fact that, yeah, Ralph knows who he is really funny.
He's more libertarian than I think, even though he's Republican, but yeah. Look, he's 84. He should be president.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it would be completely better. I mean, yeah, I do want to say, though, the clip of Maggie popping up out of the trash, a good callback from her in the museum, but also just very cute.
Yeah.
So Lisa tells her mother that she has to make a choice between science and belief. And as Marge thinks deeply, the camera zooms in on her face, then Lisa's face, and then Homer, who is pensively thinking on the trampoline. Finally, after much thought, Marge tells Lisa that she chooses, but before she says her answer, she runs out of the kitchen and joins Homer, happily bouncing on that trampoline. Really funny.
She can't make a choice, Steve. That's Marge, though.
Yeah.
She wants just everyone to be happy with everything.
Centrism. It doesn't work.
So at the dinner table, Bart shows off what he learned at school that day. According to creationism, caveman didn't exist, and Homer is so happy to hear that, saying that their drawings like they suck, and they look like hippies.
It's true.
And Lisa can't believe Homer would reconsider evolution. But he claims to always be open to new ideas. He finds then onions in his peas, causing him to throw the plate against the wall. Man, I used to like when my mom would make those like frozen bags of peas and onions, which I swear I trying to look for those. I can never find them anymore. Do they not make them?
I don't think I was thinking about that when I saw this. Like, I do remember specifically what you're talking about, like the frozen bag of peas with the pearl onions, and I have not seen them in forever. So I don't know if they've fallen out of fashion or what, but yeah, those were good.
I loved the pearl onions. Like, that was like, you know, when I got my share of pearl onions, or like my peas, and like, there better be some pearl onions in my damn
straight
peas. Which is weird because like as a kid you don't like onions, but they were so sweet. Like that, I think that was just, they were just fun to like pop in your mouth.
Yeah, like little testicles.
Yeah, like now I just get pearl necklaces. It's not the same.
No. But they both come from little testicles. Over at Springfield Town Hall, the meeting to find their sister city a husband is cut short by other topics. Mayor Quimby declares that quote-unquote normal people can park in handicapped spaces if they're just running to get some smokes or maybe some Pop-Tarts for the following day. And Lenny praises the system as he takes a drag of his cigarette while Carl enjoys the toaster pastry. And the meeting is about to reach its end, but Lisa, as she's known to do, speaks up.
And if there's no further business, I hereby declare this meeting...
I have an issue I'd like to raise.
Curse my slow gaveling.
Last week, the unscientific theory of creationism was introduced alongside evolution in Springfield Public Schools.
Now, honestly, the Bible's about the same age as the rest of our textbooks.
Evolution and creationism cannot coexist, people. It is time to go back to teaching one single truth.
Homer's son, sister is right!
Class, the town has spoken. From now on, we're only teaching one theory, creationism. Now please hand in your evolution books to Groundskeeper Willie while I beat this ominous drum.
Yes? You have something to say?
One would think that, you know, an episode from 20 years ago, like the way that it views society, you would think, pardon myself for using the word, but you'd think we'd evolve from there. And here we are. I don't think they have ominous drums in school yet, so that's something.
Well, of course they wouldn't, because that's, at least drumming is an art form.
That's true, yeah.
and art will be banned in schools quite soon, actually. So.
Yeah.
I love Barney saying, yeah, Homer's son's sister is right. Very funny. So after class, Database points out that Martin has a note taped to his locker. Martin considers that it may be a secret admirer. Maybe it's Nelson. But Database mocks his fellow nerd. So they read the note that says, Dear Seekers of Truth, meet in the school single-purpose room tomorrow for lunch. Rationally yours, LMS. And Database wonders who LMS could possibly be. And they look around the hall. They spot Sherry and Terry, Jimbo Jones, and Ralph, who waves at them. They then see Lisa wearing her regular backpack that she always wears, which features the monogram LMS. It's almost as clever as the scene from Iron Man 3 when Tony is looking at a paper that says Mia on it, and he turns around, it's AIM.
Oh my gosh.
What are we referencing? Well, you'll have to find out by joining our Patreon. That's right, go to patreon.com/AnnoyedGruntBoys to hear our exclusive weekly bonus episodes.
Good stuff.
I love how this scene plays out as like the stupidest, like obvious answer, but how this is played out is very funny to me.
Yeah, because despite Lisa's clearly iconic backpack, Martin wonders if it could be little Mo Sislak, a boy at the water fountain who resembles the barkeep, and he wonders why everyone refers to him as such. He then calls, in Mo's voice, all of his classmates a bunch of snot-faced puke bags.
This the punchline for the LMS. Like,
yeah.
Again, A+.
Yeah, so good.
Martin and Database knock on the door of the single-use room where they are met by Lisa and several other non-believers. And Lisa shows off the origins of the species, but Nelson is disappointed. He assumed they were going to light spiders on fire. Dolph, Jimbo, and Kearney pop in with a jar of arachnids and a blowtorch, telling Nelson that they are next door Nelson wishes everyone a nice day and runs off. Lisa then begins to read Darwin's work when she is suddenly, rudely interrupted by the Popo, who would never overstep their already useless boundaries in real life.
Chapter 1. When we compare the individuals of the same variety or subvariety of our older cultivated plants and animals...
Lisa Simpson, you're under arrest for the teaching of non-biblical science.
There are so many worse crimes. Why are you persecuting me?
Well, we only have the manpower to enforce the last law passed. You know, it's not the best system, but, well, in fact, it's pretty much the worst.
You live, you die. You live, you die.
In the old days, you would have been all over that.
Again, very, very prescient of the Simpsons and John Frank to predict the future, as you will.
And we hate saying the Simpsons predicted it, but here we are.
On a more positive note, the idea of a single-purpose room is very funny.
Do you have a single-purpose room in your abode?
I mean, it's a studio, so every room is a single-purpose room.
I guess the closet's the only single-purpose room.
Yeah, because bathroom you do a couple things in. Bedroom you do probably a few things in. Inside of the Springfield Courthouse, Kent Brockman reports live from the trial of God versus Lisa Simpson. Lisa is defended by ACLU liberal Clarice Drummond, who proudly states that she's from New York, in that classic press voice, causing everyone in the courtroom to boo. Kent then introduces the prosecutor, humble country lawyer Wallace Brady. After Brady, voiced by Dallas star Larry Hagman, makes his opening statement, Kent shows his questionable biases.
As the little chicken said to his mama, I just hope I don't cluck up.
I think it's fair to say if that man doesn't win, I'm resigning from the jury. This is Kent Brockman, juror number 7, saying, I'll have the roast beef for lunch.
So does this theory of evolution necessarily mean that there is no God?
No, of course not. It just says that God is an impotent nothing from nowhere with less power than the Undersecretary of Agriculture, who has very little power in our system. It's a high guy.
Now, sir, you are a scientist, correct?
Oh, that's right. I have a Ph.D. in truthology from Christian Tech. Ooh. Move over, Carl. I got a new hero.
Yeah, this'll last about a day.
So, as a scientist, what is your take on this devolution?
Pure hogwash.
That's a sick burn on Richard Fordyce and Luke Lindbergh, the undersecretaries of the Department of Agriculture.
Who was the undersecretary of Bill Clinton? Was it Monica Lewinsky? Because she was always under the desk. Okay. Timely Monica Lewinsky joke.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Larry Hagman as the country lawyer. Like, although still the best country lawyer is the Futurama country lawyer.
Yeah, who is it? Yeah.
They're chicken, yeah. So the representative of the Christian Science goes on to say that there'd be evidence if man actually evolved from monkeys, but according to him, the fossil records show a missing link. He replaces the link with a picture of a frightening ape, man, holding a boulder over his head. As the crowd gasps, Wallace Brady jokes that he thinks his missing link is having dinner with the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny. And Homer thinks that this is the moment of truth, but the prosecutor says that evolution is nothing more than Hollywood hooey. We were talking about Kirk Cameron earlier, like his defense is that humans can hold a banana. And we mentioned this on the podcast a few episodes ago. That like, God created the perfect shape for mankind. We can hold a banana. That he didn't know that bananas have evolved because of human engineering.
Exactly.
Looking at like vegetables and fruit before we've tinkered with them, it's crazy.
Carrots were never orange. Just like some king thought orange was a cool color, and so they bred them to make them orange.
Corn on the cob, it used to be just like strands of like just maybe like 6 kernels.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the way wheat grows.
Yeah, everything is bigger and weirder and grosser because of human agriculture. Again, looking at you, Richard Fordyce, and your department. You're ruining everything for everybody else. In the jury stand, Carl draws a game of hangman with Lisa as the one with the noose tied around her, and the winning word is guilty. Judge Snyder has heard enough for the day and has another appointment judging a wet t-shirt contest in about 20 minutes. Clarice Darmond tries to object to the unfair nature of the case, but looks over to find Wallace Brady bottle-feeding Bambi, asking the deer if evolution was the cause of the fire that kills his mother, spoiler alert, while Homer cries about the losses that Bambi and Thumper faced. And Lisa is frustrated and she smacks her head.
Well, back at home, Lisa tells her mother that if she would have just gone with the flow in the first place, they wouldn't be in this mess. She then tosses her copy of Origin of Species in the trash and walks to her room sadly. And then Marge grabs the Darwin book from the waistband to see what the fuss is all about. And so she reads the book while mowing the lawn, taking a shower, and then at the batting cages, and even in bed. That scene too, like Homer is singing like, little Bart hitting the baseball, little Marge, little Lisa, So it's true. Marge just goes to the batting cages.
Yeah.
So while she's trying to read, Homer makes some unwanted advances towards her. Despite this, Marge comes up with a plan.
Homer, please.
I love it when you're not into it. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, that's it. Ignore me. I'm not even here.
Wow, Darwin's argument is incredibly persuasive. And his ship was the Beagle, which reminds me of Snoopy, my favorite peanut. Aww. Lisa, I think I have a way to help you at the trial today.
So do I. Milhouse will serve the time for you while you flee to Mexico. Your new name, Senorita Ugly.
Honey, I appreciate the thought, but just leave everything to me.
Oh, you can take off the wig, Milhouse. I'm Nelson.
Homer's weird in this, it's pretty creepy.
It's kind of...
Yeah.
Rapey, right?
100%, yeah.
Unwilling partner. Yeah, no consent. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
No, but what I did like was Marge's photo with a costume Snoopy and the quote that says, "Happiness is MetLife Casualty Insurance."
So she didn't go to Knott's Berry Farm. She just went to a street fair or a place where they had some dude in a Snoopy costume selling life insurance.
Yeah, it's probably exactly what you say. It's probably the Springfield summer days.
Yeah.
And so while they're handing out t-shirts and soda koozies, she got to meet a costume Snoopy.
Do you like the Snoopy as your favorite peanut character?
Ooh, that's a good question. I've always been a Peppermint Patty fan.
Because you like to gnaw some peppermint patties?
Sure.
Peanuts suck.
Yeah.
I've never been into a fan of the Charles Schwartz-verse.
I like how depressed Charlie Brown is, but I also don't like how Christian everything is.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing, because on one hand it's neat that there's a sad little boy. I love that. But yeah, it's a little preachy for me.
I like when Bart comes in to make a new ID for Lisa. He thinks that IDs have your occupation on them. Mm-hmm. And it says booger picker.
And of course, in today's world, she would also be in trouble that way too. Anyway, not a political podcast. But as Nelson reveals himself in the style of Mission Impossible, which is coincidental, I think, for reasons, the screen then devolves into puzzle pieces into the style of the 70s TV show Quincy, MD, and we've seen this effect as well as Nelson acting as a 70s TV detective in season 19 style N for Nerder, which we talked about in our very first episode, and then we revisited recently in our 312th episode. The following day in the courtroom, defense attorney Drummond asks Ned if he's familiar with the Bible, and he says that he's just familiar enough to keep it proper, but Marge assures Lisa that her answers will soon be solved like with most problems, alcohol. So she pulls a Duff beer out of her purse and hands it to Homer. He attempts to open it, but finds that the bottle cap won't easily twist off.
And he continues to open the bottle of beer, twisting, grabbing, and even trying to open it with his teeth. As he struggles, Drummond continues her questioning, asking Ned if he's positive that there is no relationship between man and ape. And Ned answers confidently, but then Homer's actions send doubt through the courtroom.
And you are positive that man and ape cannot be related?
As sure as I am that Jesus hates hip-hop.
Come on, open. I want what's in you.
As a matter...
Come on, you
Homer.
Stupid.
Homer, I'm trying to... Will you shut your yap, you big monkey-faced gorilla?
Mr. Flanders, you've sworn to tell the truth. Can you say that this man could not possibly be related to that ape?
You win, Lisa.
This court hereby rules that the law forbidding the teaching of evolution is repealed.
Oh, wait, it was a twist-off.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Thank you, honey, for opening my eyes. I can't wait to see what evolution will make next. Maybe a bird with a people face, or a bear with pants on.
Have you ever been, Homer, in that situation of trying to open a bottle and like, oh, you're right, it's not a twist off, and then you use a bottle opener and you realize, oh, it was, I'm just weak.
Yes, and it's so embarrassing, even if nobody sees me. One better than that, I remember trying to open up a bottle of wine with a corkscrew, and I had a real hard time only to discover that that was a twist off. Dumb.
Did you also try that with a box of wine?
Yeah. Couldn't twist it off.
I helped out a fellow human being this weekend opening a champagne bottle. Yeah, I felt it was a stranger. I was just sitting in the park, and he's like, "Can you open this for me?" And I said, "Sure."
That's very sweet of you, Craig. You're a good person.
That sounds weird as it is, but it's not weird. It was Heather had a gig in like a park, and it was like in the neighborhood of like wasps, like rich white people.
Oh, okay.
And they're all old. They're all like they're all old, and he's looking at me, and because like everyone is like in their 80s, maybe like 60s, 70s, and I'm like there with my daughter, and because we're gonna watch Heather perform, and he just has a bottle of champagne, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, do you need help with that? Because I knew he didn't want to ask for help. He's like, yeah, my hand's too old, I can't open it. I'm like, psh, there you go. And he's like, all right, I'll bring you a glass if you want. I'm like, no, I'm good, even though because I'm not doing the alcohol thing as much as Steve. So I figure karma owes me one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so. You're the hero.
I am. I'm a hero. I gave that guy alcohol for his liver. He probably doesn't need it.
But, if he dies, that's one less thing sucking off the resources of the earth. So you're saving the world.
But, and look at me. Like, those people were rich. That was probably like Dom Perignon or some shit like that. Right? It was probably like good wine and not like that cheap, like Cook's champagne that I'm used to.
Yeah, it's probably truly champagne from the Champagne region of France, and you help them enjoy it.
Damn it. That's fine. What else in that clip?
Marge saying that a bird with a people face and a bear with pants on has the next stages of evolution. If that's the case, Marge, I'm here for it, because I want both of those things too.
I thought you prefer bears without pants on. I mean, that's what you would say when you were going to the clubs every night.
I like to take the pants off of them.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Well, Ned leads his boys out of the courtroom saying their old popsicle has been licked. That's fun, because he's their pop.
Yeah.
So Lisa stops Ned, saying that she respects his beliefs and his deep feelings for them. She adds that she doesn't want religion taught in schools, much like he wouldn't want scientists teaching at the church. Ned wishes more kids were as evolved as Lisa, and then invites her and the boys to a hot fudge fun day.
Ooh.
Todd then responds, "Cram it, you godwad." And then we see that it was actually Nelson. And then the puzzle pieces fade to black, and that's how the episode ends.
Woo! Wow. I think I've evolved to enjoying that episode. Or did I? I don't know. Let's think about what we just saw. Take a break. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. Let's finish up our discussion of the monkey suit. We'll talk about, what we thought about the episode, the things that made us laugh, maybe a most valuable jokester, and what we're watching next week. But before we do all of that, we'd like to exchange gifts, give our co-host something from the episode that we think that they would appreciate. And this week is no different, because Craig, I got you a few things that would be valuable in your life. First of all, you gotta keep yourself entertained. So I got you a jar of spiders and a blowtorch, so you can burn all the spiders that you want. But be careful, one of them radioactive. So if you get bit, you might become a Spider-Man. Next up, I got you a switchblade for your daughter. She needs enrichment, and as you mentioned, I think that she would do well with the switchblade, threatening to mug you and all. And finally, because you need to eat, I got you an extra large serving of peas with pearl onions.
Yum, yum.
Mm-hmm.
I also got you some food-based
Ooh.
gifts, and one is this full pizza but a little 10-year-old boy bit off all the crust.
I'm okay with that. I've had the same thing as 10-year-old boys in my mouth, too. Right? Thank you.
Also, here is a to-do list, and kiss 100 boys, so you can get that done for this summer, because we're almost wrapping up summer.
Okay.
Complete that before, after Labor Day, I mean.
All right. Take out my white, kiss the boys.
I thought, back in the old days, we used to talk about tattoos and something from this episode that would make a great tattoo. So I decided to get you a tattoo, finally.
Oh, nice.
I'll let you decide where you want it, but it's just going to be a tattoo of Satan and Darwin making out.
I love it. It's actually really cool. I like that.
And finally, to defend yourself from attackers in the city of Portland, you're going to need a weapon, and that's why you will get some nunchucks.
Nice. Ineffective, but attractive. Much like myself. Thank you, Craig. I like those a lot. What made you laugh in this episode?
Do I start with my MVJ? I'm going to start with my MVJ. And it's one that I don't think we've ever given an MVJ to before, and that's Maggie. The scene when Maggie has the shank and is threatening Marge, I said it in the episode, it was hilarious. And then also when Maggie comes out of the trash, like she's got those 2 solid scenes. A+, Maggie, you get it. And runners up, I gotta go with LMS. No, not Lisa Marie Simpson, but Little Mo Sislak. That scene is just top notch. And then I gotta say, Helen and Timothy making out in front of Sideshow Mel, another solid scene. Bart's whole getting summer done with the Walter Matthau coach for the baseball team, also hilarious. Just Homer is still great too. Of course, he's asshole, jerk, dumb, but him shooting himself with a gun with the bulletproof vest. And finally, Nelson doing the Mission Impossible face reveals with him as Lisa as Milhouse or him as Rod at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole trial with the guy from Dallas. Is the Larry Hagman as the lawyer. So all in all, those are some of my favorite scenes. How about you?
Yeah, there's a lot of funny in this episode, and it was really hard for me to actually pick a most valuable jokester because, like you say, Maggie is so cute and hilarious. Homer is at peak jerk-assness. I really like Bart going through the summer, like you mentioned. Grandpa's little scene about wanting to make it with Esther Williams and join the African American League. And it's really hard to find a really good MBJ because there's so many good ones. I really like Tress's character as the lawyer, and Larry Hagman did a great job as the country lawyer. 2 great stereotypes that are really fun. But I think I'm going to give my MVJ to Marge. One, because she played along with Maggie during the knife fight scene. But what really did it for me is that when Lisa was trying to get her to decide what the right choice is, she said, "My choice is," and then she ran out of the room and hopped on the trampoline with Homer. I just think that was a lot of fun. Also the montage of her reading the book in the shower at the batting cage. Just really fun. But what were your overall thoughts, Craig?
I don't know if it's because we've been doing this Bart summer and talking about the love life of said Bart Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
This was obviously not about Bart.
No.
We had that one scene in the beginning. So when we're Googling or Binging, is our preferred browser choice, of course, Bing, about asking the internet, what's the Bart episodes where he's got a girlfriend. And then this one comes up is towards the end, there's a little bit of some sort of reference. Obviously, this isn't an episode of Bart Love, but it's because maybe we've been watching so much of that this is fun to finally get out of ranking Bart's love life and get into an episode that I probably at the time in 2006 be I don't know, this is kind of too preachy, and why are they preaching about this? Because this is this doesn't matter at that time. And especially in 2006, we were, only 6 years old, so we didn't really care about this kind of stuff. And now watching it with the current climate of this country, it's more relevant now than ever. And this episode feels like, for me, a season 5 to 6 and 7. This could have been a Conan-esque episode, and also feels very Bill Oakley Weinstein episode. There are moments in it, like you said, like the feeling of like the jokes. It's got all the elements that like makes a great episode of The Simpsons. I love when Lisa is pissed off and is righteous.
Mm-hmm.
I love when Marge is always in the middle and just always hopes people are nice. And when it's Marge like is concerned about Lisa and then she's like does the work at the end. And you have Homer being dumb and assholey to Ned, and you sometimes feel bad for Ned. And this is kind of one of those episodes where, you know, he's never really going to change his beliefs. But at the end, he's like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong too.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning, you get your Bart stuff out of the way. Like, Bart does great Bart jokes. Even Maggie, who I gave my MVJ to, like, there's so many episodes where, like, was Maggie in the episode? No, she's never in the episode. They even gave time for Maggie to shine. This is, like, a solid Simpsons episode. Like, I would put this up against for Golden Age episodes. Like, I think it's that good. I think it's that good of an episode. That being said, if I gave this a ranking, this episode kind of does have reminiscence of the Scopes trial, the monkey trial from 1925. It's a legal case where a high school teacher, John Scopes, was accused of violating Tennessee's Butler Act, which prohibited the teaching of human evolution in state and funded schools. So the charge was, John Scopes was charged with illegally teaching that, like I said. And then the purpose was orchestrated by the ACLU to test the constitutionality of the Butler Act and challenge this anti-evolution law. And the verdict was Scopes was found guilty and fined $100 in 1925. It was later overturned on a technicality, and the Butler Act remained on the books for a few more decades after that. Anyway, so $100 doesn't seem that much in today's standards, and based off of the affiliation calculator, it really wasn't. It's a slap on the wrist. So as of today's standards, that $100 would be $1,843. So out of $1,843, I'm going to give this how much money we expect our Patreons to give us. $4,666.
That's tough but fair.
How about you, Steve?
You are completely right. This episode quantifies all the things that you want an episode to be. Like, there's emotional stakes, there's heart with Lisa and Maggie, which is a great dynamic. You have Homer being comic relief in the best way possible. You know, you get a little bit of Bart, and he like gets to be a jerk. But you also get to play with the people of Springfield really well. I think every character is utilized so well, from Lenny and Carl as a jury, to even Ken Brockman being a jury member while reporting. That's so funny. And then Raphael does a great job at the beginning. Like, everyone is on top of their game. And the jokes, there were so many jokes, and so silly, but also grounded in emotional reality. Like, you saying that this is like a Golden Age Simpson is completely on point, because it is. It feels like this could have come out in 1994, and it would have been great. And I feel like I probably didn't appreciate it when it came out, but this is just a great episode, and definitely a watch for me. And if I had to give it a ranking, you know, we had Larry Hagman on the show playing the lawyer, and he is most known for his role in the show Dallas, which had 356 episodes. And so if I had to give this a numerical ranking, I'm going to give this 356, plus that weird reboot that they did in 2018 that nobody watched, because that's how good this episode is. Great stuff, and good thoughts on it. But next week, we're kind of, I guess you could say we're wrapping up the Summer of Bart. What do you think next week's episode is entitled?
Well, if this episode was called The Monkey Suit, then clearly next week's episode title will be called The Chimpanzee Scarf.
Ooh, I would like that. But sadly, no, Craig. Next week we're watching Season 15, Episode 20, which is entitled The Way We Weren't. What do you think that's about?
Well, that's kind of a take on the famous classic Simpsons episode, The Way We Were, which was the flashback of Homer and Marge in the 70s in high school. So I think this is a reboot of that episode, and it now takes place in the 80s. And Homer is in a new wave band. And Marge is one of the backup dancers for their music video that they're shooting, a la what's the guy, the Addicted to Love guy, that Robert Palmer. So she's She's one of those dancers.
I could see that for sure.
But she's dating Mo, and Mo gets her pregnant.
Oh.
And so she has the child, but she donates him to the orphanage. And that's the origin of LMS, Little Mo Sislak.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I like it.
And in the B story, Abe is upset that Homer doesn't want to hang out with him. So he goes to a big brother and gets a kid named Coca-Cola. New Coke. Not Pepsi. Yeah, this is the 80s, Steve.
Of course, yeah. I like this. I really envision Marge as, first of all, as one of the Robert Palmer backup dancers, but also like maybe a scene dressed of her as Madonna telling her parents that she's going to keep her baby. Like, the 80s references are great. But unfortunately, you're mostly completely wrong because, well, maybe you're not. We don't know. It's Homer and Marge learned they were destined to be together when Homer tells the story of their first kiss.
I think I remember this episode now.
Yeah, I remember it playing with the timeline a little bit, and I remember one joke specifically involving modern technology.
Is it the internet?
It is.
This is this episode?
I think so.
All right, because Mo is in it.
That's right. I'm pretty sure this is the one, so...
It might be, yeah.
I look forward to finding that out, and I look forward to watching the episode with you, Craig, and I hope that you all listen, and thank you so much for listening this week. We really appreciate it. And hey, if you're so kind, you can contact us by going to the socials like your Instagram or your threads at 13simpsons, and you can always email us at 13simpsons@gmail.com.
Most importantly, though, is sign up for Patreon today. Patreon.com/AnnoyedGruntBoys, where just $5 a month, and you get this episode, obviously, but then a new episode of something random. Well, right now it's just been movies, but you get 2 episodes a week, the bonus episodes.
So good.
If you're sleeping on those, don't, because we find them hilarious, because we're vain about ourselves.
And clearly, you've heard us. You know that we know comedy. And hey, if you're so kind, go to your favorite podcasting app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent, but you don't need to write a real review. Just tell us all the things that you want to accomplish by the end of this summer.
And go to tpublic.com/user/AnnoyedGruntBoys for our Annoyed Grunt Boy merch.
Alrighty, thank you so much again for listening. For this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And remember, cram it, Godwad.
Die, weapons, die!
I'd take a bullet for you, man. Right in the mouth.